Okay, let's dive into something that is literally going to blow your mind today. In this explainer, we're bridging the cold, mathematical precision of quantum physics with the profound spiritual longing of Sufi mysticism. I know, it sounds like an impossible pairing, right? But we're going to explore how two realms that seem entirely separate actually share a deeply intertwined language. We are going to intersect the non-locality of subatomic particles with Rumi's ecstatic dissolution of the self, demonstrating how the fundamental fabric of reality mirrors the ancient architecture of mystical longing.
So, can a subatomic particle actually long for the beloved? I mean, it sounds like pure poetic metaphor, but hold on. Wait until you see how the actual, literal mechanics of the universe behave in ways that strongly echo the ecstatic dissolution of the self found in Sufi poetry. It's going to completely change how you see the world around you.
Section 1. The End of Certainty.
For centuries, the classical Newtonian worldview told us the universe was basically a giant clock. Just a rigid machine made of isolated, dead building blocks. But the quantum revolution completely shattered that illusion. It revealed an incredibly dynamic, interconnected field that perfectly mirrors the Sufi journey from separation to divine unity. Reality isn't a machine. It is an active, pulsing field of relationships.
Section 2. Paradox of the Beloved. To really grasp this, we have to analyze wave-particle duality as a physical manifestation of the divine paradox. We're talking about taking Niels Bohr's foundational concept from quantum mechanics and putting it right alongside the scholar William Chittick's articulation of the Sufi concepts of Tanzih and Tashbih. The parallels are absolutely wild.
Let's actually break that down. Wave-particle duality is the physical reality that entities, like electrons, act as both non-local probability waves and discrete, localized particles. They are both, at the exact same time. And here's the crazy part. Just as asserting only a particle's localized nature means falling into pure anthropomorphism, or tashbih, asserting only its wave nature means falling into abstract isolation, or tanzih. Getting to the absolute truth? Well, that requires affirming both simultaneously.
Section 3. The Alchemy of Observation. Okay, here's where things get truly wild. The simple act of looking actually transforms the universe. Through the famous double-slit experiment, we see that an unobserved entity exists as a wave of infinite potential, literally passing through multiple paths simultaneously. But the very moment it is measured, the moment it's observed, it collapses into a localized sensory experience. The observer isn't separate from the experiment. The act of observation physically alters reality.
And we can map this quantum observer effect directly onto shuhud, or witnessing, in the Sufi tradition. Essentially, we are mapping the observer effect right onto the Sufi's search for the beloved. The human seeker isn't just a detached spectator. They're an active participant whose internal consciousness literally determines the reality they perceive. The mystic reflects divine reality through the polished mirror of the heart, which means we are intimately entangled with the very reality we are looking at.
Now, there is actual, rigorous, modern academic synthesis bridging these exact frameworks, like the research published by Jamard Publishing. To be clear, no one is claiming Rumi secretly knew quantum math back in the 13th century. It's more about finding deep, foundational analogies between two incredibly sophisticated ways of observing a holistic universe.
Section 4. Entangled across the cosmos.
Let's explore the complete shattering of spatial separation. When you compare quantum entanglement, where particles instantaneously influence each other regardless of distance, effectively acting as a single system, with Ibn Arabi's principle of wadad al-wujud, the unity of being, the overlap is staggering. Both of these concepts point directly to an underlying, non-local unity of existence that completely transcends any apparent physical multiplicity.
This non-local entanglement acts as the absolute perfect physical analog for the Uwaisi Sufi tradition, and actually, it perfectly mirrors Rumi's own ecstatic dissolution of the self. In the Uwaisi tradition, a master and student can be infinitely connected heart to heart, completely unbound by physical distance. They communicate across a non-local realm of divine light, exactly the way entangled particles communicate instantaneously across vast reaches of space.
Think about the striking conceptual parallels here. Both the physicists testing Bell's inequality to prove non-locality and the Gnostics seeking the beloved are forced to completely abandon classical, everyday logic. They both have to rely on paradox and adopt entirely new conceptual frameworks to describe a unified reality that honestly totally defies our basic sensory intuition.
Section 5. The Architecture of Longing.
In modern theoretical physics, the holographic principle gives scientific form to the ancient Sufi concept of al-Kawn al-Jami. The infinite macrocosm is perfectly folded within a single subatomic drop. The idea that all the information of a three-dimensional reality can be fully encoded on its boundary directly mirrors the mystic's realization that the entire world is contained within a single particle.
By synthesizing science and the philosophy of religion, interpreting across these wildly different disciplines, we actually manage to avoid both reductionist materialism and simplistic quantum mysticism. Instead, we get to honor the distinct power of both lenses, allowing each one to illuminate the profound mysteries of the other.
Through classical Eastern poetry, like Rumi's poem of the atoms, we see this profound recognition that existence completely transcends spatial limitations. It vibrates much like the foundational strings of our universe. The ecstatic dissolution of the self into the divine light, it is mirrored exactly, and I mean exactly, in the way energy and matter interchange at the quantum level.
Consider the verse, "Every moment he is in a new work." That divine rhythm of continuous creation perfectly echoes the quantum vacuum, where virtual particles are constantly, ecstatically bubbling in and out of existence. What classical physics saw as a dead, empty void, quantum mechanics reveals as an ocean of infinite potential, which is remarkably similar to the Sufi concept of the breath of the merciful.
So, what should you really take away from this explainer? It's that the physical universe is not cold, it's not mechanical. It is a dynamic, interconnected web of relationships. By analyzing things like wave-particle duality and entanglement, we demonstrate that the fundamental fabric of reality mirrors the ancient architecture of mystical longing. The subatomic dance of the atom and the soul's search for the beloved are, ultimately, describing the exact singular reality. We want to leave you with this final thought to ponder your own participatory role in this incredible, non-local cosmos. If the universe truly responds to observation, if it is a participatory mirror, what reality is your heart reflecting right now?